Good morning, evening, afternoon, I'm Cat. Welcome to my channel. Today we are playing Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trilogy or Plots. If you're feeling fancy. Previously, well, we're finally getting Gant, Damon to chit chat with us, and he is pointing out the fact that I may have gotten evidence in a non-legal way, but how dare he point out the truth, damn it. In fact, I'm surprised no one else has pointed that out before, because I get evidence the same way in all of the trials, but whatever. You're like that he pointed it out. Now I'm trying to prove to him that he done it, and people are just like, oh, gasp, shock, and all that I'm actually doing it because of the 7 sevens. And yeah, that's where we left off. So let's see how shock and all we can get now in this episode. Let's continue. You entered the evidence room on the day of the crime? What about it? I'm chief of police, whether it's the evidence room or the bathroom. What's the difference? Well, you're not supposed to pee in the evidence room, I assume. Like, that's just obvious. But you can pee in the bathroom. So, there's a difference there. I can go anywhere I want. Tell me. When you entered the room, were you alone? I always go to the bathroom alone, as I do with the evidence room. Who's gonna hold your purse and stuff if you go to the bathroom alone? Everybody knows, like, you don't want to bring your purse into the toilet. It's like, you have to hang it on the door. And, like, it's just, like, kind of annoying. So you have your friend hold it for you. Detective Goodman wouldn't have happened to be with you that day, would he? Of course not. Why would he be? I hadn't seen him in days. Objection! You hadn't seen him in days, Chief Gant? I'm afraid you just undone yourself. On that day, you had to have met with Detective Goodman. Well, what do you mean? This trial's purpose is to determine Lana Sky's guilt. Objection! No, it isn't, Your Honor. This trial's purpose is to determine the truth. I'm all about the truth these days. If Chief Gant met with the victim on the day of the crime, then we need to determine one thing. What transpired during that meeting. In that case, Mr. Wright, I'm going to have to ask you for evidence. Show us proof the victim went to meet Mr. Gant on the day of the crime. He had like a missing report or that thingy. Yeah, this thing. Chief Goodman lost his ID card on the day of the crime. It's hitting my headphones. Or to be more accurate, Jake Marshall stole it. So, we're really not supposed to be working together, but then we make a great team. Edgy, I'm just saying. We work so well together. So, Detective Goodman filled out a lost item report. He would have to give that report to the chief of police. Yet you are in possession of that report, which means you can't be sure if he filed it. He filed it. How do you know? I ask. You ask even? Because he needed to enter the evidence room that day. He needed to? Yes, to transfer the evidence out. Oh. Detective Goodman took the form to you, Chief Gant. Then, you accompanied the detective, that is Phoenix. You accompanied the detective to the evidence room. I accompanied him? Mm-hmm. There's no other way the murderer and the Detective Goodman could have entered the room. Hold on, let me get what you're going to say. I, the chief of police, murdered poor Goodman. Exactly. But wait, the chief didn't necessarily need to accompany him to the evidence room. He could have just lent him his ID card. Yes. Now that you mention it, I believe I might have done that thing. Sorry, that's not possible. According to the record, your card was only used once. Yeah, you showed us your ID card earlier. If you had really lent it to Detective Goodman, it would have been found on his body. No! Ew, what was that stuff coming out of him? Chief Gant, you didn't. The murder was most likely a spur-of-the-moment crime, for no one in their right mind would choose. Why did it separate like that? Would choose the police department as a place to commit murder. After the murder, you contacted Lana at the prosecutor's office. Why? To dispose of Detective Goodman's body, of course. You're forgetting, Mr. Wright, that the victim's body was discovered in the prosecutor's office's parking lot. How did he manage to move it there? I was at the police department the entire day, you know. And everyone's aware that Lana stayed at the prosecutor's office after the ceremony. Everyone except me, it seems. Still, you're the chief of police. You have an entire police force at your disposal. Oh, so you think I just ordered an officer to do it? Hey, you, take this, your dead body over to the prosecutor's office. I don't think so. Chief Gant, you left all the evidence we need to prove how you moved the body to the prosecutor's office. And all this time, I thought It was a useless clue, just taking up space. Isn't that weird screwdriver that I haven't been able to figure out a thing for yet? How could the chief have moved the body? Mr. Wright, show us the evidence. To move the victim's body, the chief got to use this. That's the only thing I can think of. Yeah, like, why was I brought back to his office? Like, that's... I don't think I've used that for anything. And it said a useless piece of evidence that I had that's only been taking up space. I don't know where this is going, but judging by the clues, that. This is how he moved Detective Goodman's body. What is this? A screwdriver? What does that have to do with this case? Mr. Edgeworth, think back to the day of the crime. What is a screwdriver doing here? It's here because... Oh, so basically he just had him go to the office to pick that up so he could dump it into his trunk. I was asked to go by Chief Gant, no less. He told me he wanted me to keep it here, in the prosecutor's office. In any case, on the day of the stabbings, I brought this back here. After the ceremony ended that day, I didn't plan to return to the prosecutor's office. But you did, because Chief Gant asked you to. Do you mean I... The body was found in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car. I think it's obvious what happened. The body was moved by that car. Detective Goodman's body was carried in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car. Yes. Unless, of course, you have another explanation, Chief. Why else would you have asked Mr. Edgeworth to transport evidence from a closed case? There's only one possible explanation. To transport the body of your accomplice. Miss Lana Skye. Order, order, order! What's going on here? Is there no room for rebuttal to these defense's outrageous accusations? Think back to the photograph Miss Starr took at the prosecutor's office. This was not a photo of the body being stuffed into the trunk to be taken away. It was exactly the opposite. It was a photo of the body being taken from the trunk. Chief Gant, please say something. I believe your time's up. My time's up? Sorry, Raito. I'm having lunch with the District Attorney General after this. We have to get going if we're to make it in time for the early bird special. But the cross-examination isn't finished yet. Remember what I told you earlier? The police chief has all kinds of weapons at his disposal. Doesn't it just make him look guiltier if he's just like, I gotta go? Weapons? Like the right to refuse to testify. I'm invoking that right now. What? That is not a right to be casually involved. There are certain risks to be considered. So you're going to just run away after all this? Run away? Don't make me laugh, Worthy. Oh, Goodman. That's what you're saying, right? If you had any conclusive evidence, you would have presented it by now. Well, you think I had Lana dispose of the body? If so, then show your proof and get it over with. I'll say it again, Mr. Wright. Damon Gant is the current chief of police. This court will not tolerate any accusations against him without concrete proof. Well, Mr. Wright? Your Honor, do you have any concrete proof? Prove that Chief Gant murdered Detective Goodman and made Miss Guy dispose of his body. Do I have any concrete proof? Present evidence. I don't have any proof yet. There's no proof that I have currently that is like concrete that says it's him. Will the game end if I say that? Well, I did say it, but I don't have any concrete proof. It's no use showing evidence I'm not even sure of myself. No, Your Honor, at present, I have no conclusive evidence. Trilogy? In that case, this court is forced to penalize you for allegations against the chief. What? Here's a tip. Never gamble what you can't afford to lose, Righto. It seems that Lady Luck was on my side again today. Okay, Edgy, I'll leave the rest to you. Oh, what's gonna happen to me? I warned you earlier, Mr. Wright. This is an affront to a senior officer in our nation's law enforcement agency. In Japan, America, you don't get to do this sort of shit. Edgeworth is coming to save me. Lady Luck, maybe we should have a word with her. Mr. Edgeworth, what do you mean? There's one lady who knows the real truth behind this trial. We have yet to have the honor of hearing her testimony. A lady who knows the truth? Another witness? In the absence of conclusive evidence, the only other method of proof is testimony. But Chief Gant has invoked his right to refuse to testify. There's still someone else, one more witness, who can answer all the questions raised in this trial. Someone right in this very room. Mr. Edgeworth, who is this person? Why are you asking me, Your Honor? Have you forgotten? The defense is the one calling witnesses today. Mr. Wright, does such a witness exist? She may not be willing to tell the truth, but we can't just stop now. Yes, Your Honor. The defense calls for... Come on, Lana. Speak to us.
Take that!
The defendant, Miss Lana Sky, is what the judge says. Oh, my contact lens. She was in the underground parking lot at 5:15 p.m. on February 21st. Her task, to dispose of the victim's body. In accordance with a certain someone's orders. Mr. Edgeworth? The prosecution has no objections, Your Honor. We're a team right now. He's not going to object to anything I say. Very well. The court will now take its final recess for the day. In 5 minutes, we will reconvene to hear the defendant's testimony. This court is now something. Hold on. Huh? Chief, no, get the fuck out. You said, I'm gonna leave because you ran away like a little bitch boy. Now leave. Chief Gant, I thought you were going to eat. Listen good, Lana. You don't get to come and threaten my litness? My witness, asshole. He's talking to Lana. I don't think you need me to tell you this, but if you accept Mr. Wright's claims, there will be terrible consequences. And nobody's taking this into consideration of the fact that he just blatantly threatened somebody, like, in front of everyone. Nobody's gonna say, that's weird, that's questionable, we should, like, take note of that, Aji. That's right. Your sister will be found guilty for Neil Marshall's murder. She is guilty! Ah, this isn't good. Also, blatant blackmail. Of course. You never support such outrageous claims in any way, right? Just something to think about. Alright then. I've got a lunch date to meet. Oh, fuck off, Gant. Yeah, Judge, you didn't see anything wrong or weird about that, Okay, if there aren't any further objections, this court is now in recess. Like, you can wait for recess to, like, threaten her in a less obvious way. February 25th, 2:04 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 2. Looks like we managed to stay in the game. Yeah, thanks to your help, Edgeworth. That chief, he's something else, eh, pals? Detective Gumshoe. I'm not a detective anymore. Oh yeah, sorry about that. Don't worry, I have already decided where to work now. At your office. My office? Sure. I'll take the place of that top-knotted girl you used to work with. Could he mean Maya? Still, looks like we're all out of moves now. Chief Gant's done it again. How is it he always gets the upper hand? Power? Fear? Power? Being a psychopath? You know, lack of conscience tends to be very useful in threatening people. It's not fair he has the right to refuse to testify. Settle down, Wright. Remember what the judge said? But Chief, that's not the case. There are certain risks to be considered. Risks? What did he mean by that? It's simple. If the chief refuses to testify, the opposite also holds true. You mean he forfeits his right to say anything too? Oh, she's back. Emma, are you okay?
Yeah. When I came to, I was in the medical office. I've been listening to the trial from the gallery.
So she heard everything that's been going on. Emma, I'm sorry for what I said before.
No, don't be. It was the truth. You know, it's funny. I almost feel somehow relieved.
Relieved?
Yeah. Now I finally know what really happened. To think that all this time, my sister was being blackmailed by that terrible man. And she did all just to protect me.
Ever since her appointment as chief prosecutor, everyone who knew her said she changed. Perhaps it was easier that way for her. What do you mean? What do you think I mean? To follow Chief Gant's orders. She must have shut herself up deep inside to force herself to do anything and everything the chief told her to do. That must be why she became so cold.
It was all my fault. It's all because I murdered Mr. Marshall.
Hey, don't go blaming yourself now. If you want to blame anyone, blame society, pal.
Chief Gant may be able to fool everyone else with his forgery. But he can't fool my memory. I remember now. I knocked Mr. Marshall into that armor.
I see.
Well,
we better get back. If it's time for the final act.
Emma, why don't you wait? No, I'm going with you. I want to be there. When Lana tells the truth.
Let's go, Wright. It's time to end this. To be continued. No. I'm going to save in like 2 seconds, in 2 minutes. February 20th, 2:21 p.m. District Court, courtroom number 9. Now then, will the defendant, Miss Lana Sky, please take the stand? Miss Hana Sky, you are the chief prosecutor. I'm sure you're aware of what is required of you. But Mr. Edgeworth, you already know everything. You know all that I've done these past 2 days, years even. Please proceed. Provide the court with your testimony, Miss Guy. And remember, you are under oath. We want to hear the truth. Of course. The truth.
Lana, no matter what happens, I'll always be your sister.
Now then, your testimony, if you will. First, tell us about your relationship with Chief Gant.
Everything hinges on your testimony.
You're the only chance we have to get Gant. I worked alongside Gant for years. There's no truth to his blackmail theory. I fabricated the evidence 2 years ago, all by myself. When I found Prosecutor Marshall's body, I rearranged the crime scene. My only motivation was to get Dark convicted. It had nothing to do with Emma.
Is she on like a wheelie chair that she can just like move?
I guess that's more of a swivel chair. Are you sure about this testimony, Your Honor?
I'm confessing to a capital offense, of course, I'm sure. But Lana!
If this is true, then that means Chief Gant has nothing to do with this.
That is what I've been telling you from the beginning. Please, Mr. Wright, you've got to help her. She's sacrificing herself because of me.
But what if she's telling the truth?
She's not. I know my own sister. Whenever she speaks stiff like that, she's hiding something inside. Deep down, she's really screaming in agony.
Yeah, this is no time to start second-guessing in myself. The defense may now begin cross-examination.
Alright, so we will once again cross-examine Lana in the next episode. This is our second time cross-examining her, I believe. Could be our third. I think it's the second. But we will see how that goes. And maybe we'll come to a conclusion, but I highly doubt it. Until then, see you next time.